I got the PO, I shipped the parts, now my customer doesn't want to pay me. Uh-oh, did I just get burned? What's up guys, Ian Sandusky from Lakewood Machine and Tool back here again for Practical Machinist. And today on Shop Talk, we're gonna be tackling an issue a poster brought to the forum about this very issue. But before we do, make sure you like and subscribe below if you want to see more videos. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so as promised, today we're going to be tackling an evergreen topic when it comes to the machining world and running a machining business, and that is dealing with a customer that doesn't want to pay. This is something we've dealt with in the past, but this is something that someone brought to the Practical Machinist forums, and they were looking for some advice. Before we get into it guys, if you're not currently on the Practical Machinist forums, it is one of the greatest sources for information out there that I've found across the internet. It's the reason I started doing videos for Practical Machinist. I've been involved in them for years. It's a great place to get not only information on running a business, but if you have questions about programming a certain machine, if you want tooling recommendations, whatever it may be involved in our trade, it is a wealth of information and you really should check it out because you can find stuff there you're not going to find anywhere else. So to get to the topic, a person came to the Shop Management Issues forum, it's a sub forum on there, with an issue. And his forum thread was titled, "Did I just get burned?" What happened was this guy owns a small machine shop from the sounds of it. He came on and was telling his story. And his story was that he was doing some work for a company, you know, a shiny new customer, and they came to him with some rush work. They issued him a PO, he got the work done, everything looks pretty good. He had the terms for the first job as essentially a 50-50 deal, so they put up 50% of the balance of the job, you know, the payment, when they ordered, and then they pay the other 50% when the work's actually delivered. This is a pretty common situation out there, guys. You know, it's not always good to offer credit terms to someone you don't know, and companies don't always want to pay up front for something they don't know. You know, you're an unknown quantity to them, they're an unknown quantity to you. It's a pretty standard situation. I've done it before for sure. So this guy delivers the parts, they say, hey, can we pay by check? He says, sure. They write him a check, all is good. Cashes the check clears the bank, everything's good. The problem comes when the next time they come, they get in touch a couple weeks later, it sounds like, and they say, hey, we need some more rush parts, can you do it? And the guy says, sure, yeah, no problem. He described it in that he had to really move heaven and earth to make this job happen for this company. You know, he had to move some jobs around. He had to bring in some guys for overtime. He had to really move around his scheduling, but he got the job done. You know, he really wanted to make this work. For this job, instead of having the 50% up, 50% due at completion, he switched them to a COD, or cash on delivery, which is standard for his company apparently. And what COD is you get paid when the parts get delivered. So they don't have terms. There's no credit terms, there's no net 30, there's no net 45. You deliver the parts, you get a check, life is good. The problem was, he finished these parts, he said, on a Friday afternoon, and he decided to try to be a nice guy. He said, you know what, I've got some time, I'm personally gonna run these parts over to their shop, drop them off. So he shows up, drops them off. Oh, hey, do you know what? The guy who does all our accounting and writes checks, he's already left for the weekend. Do you mind if we pay you on Monday? This guy says, yeah, sure. And I mean, guys, I get it. Like, you know, if you're a new supplier for somebody, you don't wanna be the rusty wheel or the squeaky wheel getting the grease right away. You know, you don't want to treat someone like a criminal for a situation that happens all the time. No problem, you don't want to ruffle feathers. Pay me Monday, that sounds good. So he left his parts, he didn't take them, he left the parts, went home, said, you know what, I'm gonna get paid Monday. Great success. Problem was that on Monday, no check shows up. He calls to follow up and says, hey, is that check ready to pick up? All of a sudden, the accounting department of the purchasers, or the accounting department is saying, we don't have a record of these parts. They never showed up. And he goes and says, you know, yeah, I dropped them off. You know, I have a signed packing slip. And they said, okay, let me look into it for you. So they look into it. They say, we don't even have a PO to receive this against. And for those of you who don't know the accounting end of things, when it comes to a lot of accounting software, someone has to issue a PO to be received against. And if that's not there, they can't process payment. So anyways, this guy starts jumping around, trying to jump through hoops, trying to get this sorted out with the accounting department. A week goes by, 2 weeks goes by. He's calling, he's emailing, and it doesn't seem like it's something the accounting department can make sense of or fix. A couple more weeks go by and a check shows up. Yay! The problem is it's only for 50% of the value of the job. He said that he looked at it and there were some weird deductions that he didn't authorize on there that ended up being half the price of the job. So he's sitting here going, what's going on? Like, this is just not working. So at this point, he's still trying to get this figured out. So he came to the forum and said, guys, am I getting burned? Like, is this what it looks like when I'm dealing with a customer who doesn't want to pay? The answers, as you're going to find on a public forum, range from really, really good to some real head scratchers. A couple of the people were recommending the mafioso violence route. One guy said, oh, you should show up and demand to sit in their lobby and don't leave till you get paid. Another guy was actually recommending that he goes and hires some bikers to go swing by and say hello. There was one guy who had a story on there where he said he had a similar situation. He parked his truck outside the accounting department's window, walked in and said, would you like me to park this truck out there on your desk? If not, pay me my money. Guys, this, if you are not really aware, does not work. It is extortion at best and a very, very poorly planned attempted robbery at worst. This isn't 1970 in a movie anymore. If you do this, not only will you probably not get paid, you will probably get charged. You know, this is a big corporation, the guy that said he was dealing with. Imagine walking into, I sold some stuff to Walmart, so I walk into Walmart HQ and I say, I'm gonna get some bikers down here to deal with you. It's just, it's laughable, guys. Please, please do never go this route. As much as you may want to, it does not work out. The next kind of set of answers we're advising, lawyer up, take them to small claims court. You know, some guys are saying, oh, don't worry guys, they're gonna pay as soon as they get served with papers. Or the second you say the word court, they're gonna jump. They are just gonna get scared out of their skin and they're gonna pay you. Here's the thing, guys. Advising to lawyer up and go to small claims court, this is not necessarily bad advice. The problem is that in my opinion, it is a nuclear option for a situation that may not require it. First off, guys, courts do not like being used as the first option. I know some guys said this in there and I've heard the stories too where guys try to take people to court. If the court feels like you haven't done enough to try to chase this up or given them a reasonable amount of time to fix their mistake, they will not rule in your favor and they may rule against you and charge you legal costs because you're using the court as a battering ram. Courts do not like being used as a battering ram. The second thing is, guys, even if you do take them to court and you get a judgment and they say, yes, you have to pay your company the money they owe, I can't tell you how many guys I know who have had judgments that they have ruled in their favor. When we're talking 3, 4, 5 years later, they still haven't seen the money. All a judgment means is someone has said they had to pay. You still need to manage to get paid. And some of the creative accounting these companies can do if they want to be malicious can make it so it's gonna take you a long time to get paid anything. And you're gonna spend a lot more money to get that done. Thirdly, guys, taking people to court, as I said, is a nuclear option. The second you bring courts into something, you're no longer working to solve this issue with the people. You have flat out told them, you are now my enemy. I am going to win this battle. You know, is it warranted in some cases? For sure. You know, there's definitely a time and place for courts. But the problem is, even if you go get your judgment, you win that customer is never working with you again. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe this was a hiccup in otherwise what would have been a great relationship that now you took a nuclear option on. This company's not going to deal with you. Any of the people who know you at that company who move on to other companies, they're not going to deal with someone who's needlessly litigious, if that's the case. Taking people to court is an option, but you should always make sure it is worth it and the time has passed, you know, where it feels like a good option. Taking them prematurely is not the way to go. The third set of answers there was kind of what I think there was telling this guy, man, chill. It's been 6 weeks or whatever it is at this point. You got 50% of your money already. You know, there's some stuff to figure out. Getting angry, and you know, this guy wasn't necessarily getting angry, but he was obviously frustrated. But letting that frustration and those emotions make those decisions for you is going to turn out really badly. You need to step back, you need to wait, you need to make your phone calls, you need to send your emails. Getting needlessly upset and jumping the gun on, you know, either being violent or litigious on this isn't gonna help you. You know, I'll tell you guys a story. You know, I've had one customer ever not pay me in a, what I would consider malicious way. We did some work for a guy, this is about 5 years ago, who was trying to build aftermarket parts for these machines. So, you know, he serviced these machines. He said, you know what, instead of buying from the company, I can make my own replacement parts and I could, you know, make a lot more money on that. So he came to us with some models, you know, solid models. I think they were STL files or whatever, or step files. And he said, hey, can you make these parts for me? We said, sure. We made the parts. They were 100% good to the drawings he gave us. He approved them. He went and checked them against his drawings, did his QA after we did ours. Took them, thank you very much. We had net 30 terms. All of a sudden he turns around and says, hey, I went to go assemble these at my shop. They don't fit together with the machine they go onto. We said, that's strange, you know, let's take a look. Well, it turns out the guy he got to do the drawings had messed up, and pretty badly. These parts, you know, he said, can we fix them? Can we do whatever? End of the day, guys, we had to start from scratch, and I wasn't willing to do them for free. You know, this guy was looking to say, hey, we just need to redo these parts, and he wanted us to do them for free as if it was our mistake. You know, situations come up, guys, where I will definitely cut people a deal. You know, we're all human. Let's see what we can do to make this work. But this guy just wanted us to do them for free. I declined. You know, that wasn't the deal. We make parts to drawings. I don't service these machines. I don't have them in-house. And this guy decided he wasn't going to pay. And I tried to chase him down for months and months and months until eventually I just gave up. You know, he changed his phone number, changed his email, dropped off the face of the earth. I think he moved offices because we tried to get in touch with him. And you know, that's the only time in the 12 years I've been doing this that I've had somebody straight up in what I would consider a malicious fashion not want to pay. That said, have I had situations like the poster is talking about here where people have blown their net 30 terms by 10 days, by 20 days? I had a guy blow his net 30 terms by 100 days at one point. That's 3 months after I was supposed to get paid. This guy, I was still chasing up money from him. The point is, we got paid. These situations are going to happen. You know, credit terms are supposed to be in stone. Anybody who's worked in the trades for any length of time and dealt with that end of things know that's not always the case. You know, people have cash flow issues. Things get lost. You know, a PO will get the wrong number put on it. I once didn't get paid because they issued a PO, they changed the PO number, and then they couldn't find it. You know, and then I had to go and chase it up, and I did end up getting paid, but it was delayed. The point is, these things happen, guys. The biggest thing you can do to deal with these situations is set yourself up in advance to not get in them. Be very, very careful who you offer credit terms to. You know, a lot of big companies will not pay COD terms. That's fine. You need to make sure that you are getting a credit reference from these people, that you're getting, you know, 2 to 3 sources or people you can call that are their current customers. Find out what their credit is with them. Find out, do they pay their terms on time with these other vendors? If no, maybe you don't want to extend credit. You know, I've said it before, guys, it's better to have fewer customers than bad customers. And you can avoid that by doing a lot of the legwork in advance to make sure you're not getting in these situations. That said, if you do get in these situations, email and things in writing are going to be your biggest friends. You want to make sure, although yes, you should be calling all the time, call people, you know, call to follow up, call once a week, call twice a week. You want to be emailing. Keep them all in one big thread. Hi, just going to follow up on this. This is third attempt at contact. Hi, looking to talk about this overdue invoice. So you have a record of all the times you've tried to get in touch with them, so that if you do get in a situation where, you know, we all like to, like I said, you know, things happen. We want to think everybody's going to be great out there and just mistakes happen. Some people will be malicious, and it's good to have a record that if you do have to go to court, listen, I've been trying to chase this up and given them ample time to pay this bill. You know, sometimes it's simple as, someone can't find something. Well, please go look at this email that I'm gonna forward along as an attachment to see your PO. Keeping good records through email or in writing is gonna be the biggest aid you have to getting paid. Even if it's for Joe down the street you're doing work for, don't do work without a PO. Even if that PO is an email that says, hi, as discussed today, please do X work for X dollars. And you can tell, hey Joe, I know you're my friend, but I need you to send this to me. This is just company policy. All it is gonna help protect you. Lastly, guys, dealing with accounting departments as a tradesman can feel very intimidating and very terrible. With big companies, sometimes they can have full purchasing and accounting departments that don't even talk to each other. I have one customer whose accounting department is accounts payable is in Romania. It can be very intimidating. Although you have to deal with them to get paid, don't forget that you often have other people on your side, even at that company. I had a situation where I was having trouble getting paid, trying to deal with the AP team. So what I did, I went and I talked to the purchaser, the guy I've dealt with for years, and I said, hey, listen, Mr. Purchaser, I'm having trouble getting this PO that you issued paid, and I don't quite know what the issue is. Do you mind giving me a hand? No problem. He went and chased it up internally, and it was easy. The point is, guys, you want to make sure that when you get in these situations, for as long as you can, you want to keep it as a collaborative feeling issue. How do we solve this issue together? You don't want to point fingers and say, you're not paying, you need to pay me. It may be reality, but putting people on the spot like that and putting them on the defensive is never going to help you get paid, whether you're dealing with a massive corporation or Joe down the street. You always want to talk about, hey, listen, I understand something might be going on here. What can we do to make this work? Do you need interim payments? Do you need a payment plan? Do we need to change our terms from net 30 to net 45? What's going to work best for you? You're going to see a lot better results getting paid if you take that us against the problem mindset versus, pay me or get it. Let's put it that way. Okay? Thank you very much for watching, guys. In the comments below, I would like to see some of your stories. I'd like to hear some of your worst trying to get paid stories. I would also like to hear some of your top tips that don't involve sending bikers to go shake someone down to getting paid when you're dealing with a customer that doesn't want to pay. As always, make sure you like and subscribe below if you want to see more videos. You take care.